So if you're looking at picking up a brand new premium large screen TV in 2025 at an affordable price, the chances are two TVs that might have landed on your radar are TCL's new C7K and Samsung's QN90F. And excuse me walking along on my knees, not quite as graceful as I intended. They both are serious contenders that might just be worth a look. They're both bright, packed with smart features and aimed right at people who are wanting that premium performance without spending 3, 4, 5 grand OLED money. Quick heads up, this video is sponsored by TCL, but everything I talk about in terms of specs and features and performance is factually sourced. And my goal is to show you what the actual differences are when you sit down and watch these two TVs side by side, and then you can make your own minds up when you factor in budget. And that's the last thing to keep in the back of your mind, because the last time I checked, the C7K is around half the price of Samsung's offering. First up, straight on, you will notice just how similar these two TVs are. Tiny bezels, super bright screens, and they both can be wall-mounted or can be placed on these like-minded stands. The Samsung QN90F is marginally thinner if we look from the side, but the TCL C7K is hardly beefy. And also from the side, you will notice a slight difference with the actual picture, which may be a pro or a con, depending on how you look at it. The Samsung TV has what's known as glare-free tech, which does exactly what it says on the tin. If you live in a glass house with the sun pouring in or lights left on left, right and centre behind you when you're trying to watch the TV, then this is an excellent solution to solve this problem, because as you can see, there is almost zero reflections. The downside of this tech is that from the side, you can get that kind of misty, dull kind of look, which I personally am not a massive fan of. It works great for preventing reflections, and when you're straight on, it looks absolutely fine, but from the side, the TCL C7K looks a little punchier. TCL with the C7K have adopted a glossy, low reflection solution that achieves both effective anti-glare performance and deeper, more transparent black levels for enhanced picture clarity. If we want to go ultra nerdy, the Crisp Glow HVA panel features nanoscale bionic technology, which forms a butterfly wing microstructure by adding polyamide to the liquid crystal molecules. This apparently allows for precise control over the amount of light passing through the liquid crystal layer, resulting in a notable improvement in contrast. It also comes with a nanoscale low reflective film that reduces reflections on the display and presents a more crystal-like screen with sharper details. The panel also uses nano composite materials with HVA technology to create a deep black that absorbs external light. To cut a long story short, resulting in less glare, but making the image clearer and cleaner, whilst also reducing eye strain. So yes, the TCL C7K may not be quite as good at handling those lights and the reflections like the matte screen technology of the Samsung TV, but they are able to reduce some of the glare whilst actually improving black levels. So both companies have definitely used a different approach here, and this is slightly subjective. The C7K has QD-Mini LED tech, which means quantum dot color combined with thousands of tiny LEDs behind the screen, which can be dimmed or turned off. On this 65-inch model, you're looking at 1008 local dimming zones, and this is part of TCL's precise dimming series. That means it can brighten or darken tiny parts of the picture with amazing accuracy. Samsung's QN90F also uses mini LED tech with an almost identical 1056 dimming zones on their 65-inch model. And remember, the Samsung TV is double the price. When it comes to brightness, TCL claim up to 2,600 nits with their 4K HDR Premium 3000 series, and you won't be surprised to learn that Samsung's offering also gets very bright indeed, but it's factually less at 2,086 nits. And again, while both are amazingly bright, that difference might be enough to make HDR scenes, for example, pop that little bit more in the highlights. The C7K also produces really impressive results in contrast ratio with a native 7,000:1, so deep blacks, bright highlights, and that extra color depth from quantum dots. But the big win for TCL is the fact that it supports every major HDR format. That's HDR10, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, and Dolby Vision Gaming, which basically takes all of the goodness from Dolby Vision, like better brightness, color, contrast, and optimizes it for gaming. It gives you more accurate HDR visuals in real time, so games look amazing, Plus, it can adjust dynamically, scene by scene, to make sure you get the best picture while gaming. Samsung's QN90F supports HDR10 and 10 Plus, but still no Dolby Vision. And that might be a deal breaker for you. At twice the price of the C7K, some might argue that having that is non-negotiable. And they don't. If you watch Netflix, Disney Plus, or Apple TV Plus, for example, a lot of the top tier content uses Dolby Vision. On TCL, you get that full version of the picture with proper brightness and tone mapping. Samsung converts it, which for the every person still looks great, but factually, it's not as accurate. If you're into your movies and streaming, then this is one of the biggest reasons you might look at the C7K. Dolby Vision on a bright mini LED screen really does look stunning. But what about gaming? The C7K has native 4K at 144Hz with Motion Clarity Pro, so everything looks smoother, from fast camera pans in football to quick FPS action. There's also TCL's 288Hz game accelerator at 1080p, which cuts input lag down even further for PC gaming. HDMI 2.1, VRR, ALLM, and FreeSync Premium Pro are all here, plus that Dolby Vision gaming as mentioned before. The Samsung QN90F does have the upper hand slightly in certain areas like 4K at 165Hz and a slightly lower input lag, whilst also supporting VRR and FreeSync Premium Pro too. But remember that lack of Dolby Vision support. The TCL C7K uses their AI PQ Pro processor, their top-tier image engine that constantly analyzes what's on the screen and adjusts it in real time. You've got AI clarity for sharpness, AI color for tone balance, AI contrast for depth, AI HDR for format decoding, AI motion for smoothness, and AI scene to automatically tune the image depending on what you're watching. That's a lot of AI. In practice, a lot of jumbly words there. It means that you can flick between watching football, gaming, Netflix, etc. without needing to dive into menus to change how the image looks. It kind of rebalances it as you're going along. Samsung's processor is also fantastic. It's great for upscaling and handles bright scenes beautifully. So in simplified terms, TCL's processor makes HDR movies and sports hit different with vibrant colors and deep contrast and smooth motion, whilst Samsung's processor is perfect for upscaling older content and adding smart features for seamless streaming and smart home use. The C7K runs Google TV, so it's part of the full Google ecosystem. You can cast from your phone, use Google Assistant, or jump straight into YouTube and Netflix. It's clean, fast, and customizable. Samsung's Tizen OS is also polished with simple menus, slick integration with SmartThings and Samsung phones. So this one for sure is down to personal preference. For most people, TCL's option might be slightly better as it's a more widely used platform. But if you're a Samsung user, Tizen might feel a little more like home. One area TCL deserves a lot of credit is sound. The C7K uses audio tuned by Bang & Olufsen on this 65-inch model. And it's not just loud, it's rich, vocals are super clear, bass has a nice punch, and it doesn't sound like it's coming from a tin can, often a problem that many thin TVs can have. The Samsung's QN90F sound, on the other hand, is more limited, and while it does support Dolby Atmos, it has less bass and a narrower soundstage. It's solid, but the TCL's Bang & Olufsen tuning gives it a noticeably more refined tone, especially for dialogue and music. So let's talk what matters in day-to-day. If you're in a bright, open-plan living room and you watch lots of sports or daytime TV, either in direct sunlight or with lots of bright lights going on in and around you, then Samsung's TV is absolutely fantastic. Its anti-glare coating is amazing, seriously impressive if you don't mind that dull look from the sides. It's also great for those who want top-notch gaming performance with higher refresh rates, lower input lag, and excellent upscaling, and those who watch a variety of content. But the TCL C7K is a great all-rounder for movie buffs and gamers who want gorgeous HDR, super vibrant and accurate colors, Dolby Vision support, while still being great for gaming with awesome audio right out of the box. But more than anything, it's the kind of TV that makes you double take when you realise the Samsung TV is double the price. On paper, both TVs are very, very similar, so the saving you get with TCL is really impressive. The last time I checked before recording, Samsung's TV is around £1,699, and the TCL C7K is around half that. And on paper, both TVs are very, very similar, so the saving you get with the TCL offering is really impressive. I did a bit of digging and I found that TCL are able to keep costs low by doing pretty much everything in-house, from manufacturing their own panels to assembly, and their involvement in other industries like semiconductors, etc. helps them to deliver high quality TVs at a much lower price than many of their competitors. Links below in the video description if you want to check out the latest information and the pricing exactly right now, because this may change depending on when you're watching it. My name's Adam, you've been the best, I love you and leave you, I'll see you in the next one. Says TP.